When David retired at 62, he thought he was making the smart move. "I'd worked for 40 years, why wait?" he told me. 3 years later, he called me in a panic. "I've made a terrible mistake," he admitted. "I'm going to outlive my money, and there's nothing I can do to fix it now." But before we jump back into the video, let us know where you're watching from. And if you're enjoying this story, don't forget to subscribe, because tomorrow, I've got something really special for you. And now back to the video. Every day, thousands of Americans over 60 make the same critical error David made, an error that can cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost retirement income. Yet financial advisors rarely discuss it. The consequences aren't immediately obvious, and once the mistake is made, it's largely irreversible. Today, I'm going to reveal this costly retirement planning mistake that's silently draining the financial security of an entire generation. Whether you're already retired, about to retire, or still planning, this information could be the difference between a retirement of abundance and one of constant financial stress. The mistake I'm talking about is claiming Social Security benefits too early. Specifically, taking benefits at 62 or 63 when waiting until 70 would create significantly more lifetime income for most people. This decision, often made with limited information, has profound long-term consequences that many don't fully understand until it's too late. According to the Social Security Administration, approximately 34% of Americans claim benefits at 62, the earliest possible age, and a full 57% claim before their full retirement age. Yet research from Stanford's Center on Longevity indicates that for the majority of Americans, particularly those who expect to live past 80, this is a costly financial error. The penalty for claiming early is severe and permanent. For someone with a full retirement age of 67, claiming at 62 means accepting a 30% lifetime reduction in monthly benefits. Conversely, delaying until 70 results in a 24% increase above the full retirement age amount. This difference between taking benefits at 62 versus 70 represents a staggering 76% higher monthly payment for the rest of your life. What makes this topic so critical is that increased longevity has changed the math of retirement planning. In 1940, when Social Security began, a 65-year-old man could expect to live about 12 more years. Today, that same 65-year-old man can expect to live about 19 more years, and a 65-year-old woman nearly 22 years. This dramatic extension of retirement means the decision about when to claim benefits has much larger financial implications than ever before. Today, I'll explain why so many people make this costly mistake, exactly how much it might be costing you in real dollars, and most importantly, the specific strategies that can help you maximize your benefits, even if you need or want to retire before 70. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to make this critical decision based on facts rather than common misconceptions. Before we dive deeper, I want to highlight something important. Near the end of this video, I'll share a powerful strategy that even most financial advisors don't discuss, a legally permitted approach that can allow some married couples to have their cake and eat it too when it comes to Social Security timing. This single strategy has helped some of my clients gain an additional $50,000 to $150,000 in lifetime benefits. Throughout our discussion, I'll also debunk the most dangerous myth about Social Security, one that leads countless retirees to claim early out of fear, potentially costing them tens of thousands of dollars. Understanding this misconception alone could transform your retirement security. Stay with me until the end, because I'll also provide a simple 3-question framework that can help you determine your optimal claiming age based on your specific financial situation, health status, and family circumstances, not generic advice that ignores your personal reality. The first reason this claiming too early mistake is so costly is that most people dramatically underestimate their life expectancy and the devastating impact of longevity. Risk Margaret, a former teacher who retired and claimed benefits at 62, shared her story with me. "When I retired, I thought, I've worked for 4 decades. I deserve to enjoy life now. I'd watched both my parents die in their early 70s, so honestly, I didn't think I needed to plan for my 80s or 90s. Now 84 and still active, Margaret finds herself living on a permanently reduced benefit while facing rising healthcare costs. "If I'd understood I might live this long, I never would have claimed so early," she told me with regret. Here's why this matters. According to actuarial data, a healthy 65-year-old woman today has a 50% chance of living beyond 88 and a 25% chance of living past 94. For married couples, there's a 50% chance one spouse will live beyond 92. Yet studies show most people underestimate their life expectancy by 5 to 7 years, leading to serious planning errors. The mathematical reality is striking. Consider someone with a full retirement age benefit of $2,000 monthly. Claiming at 62 reduces this to $1,400 monthly for life, while waiting until 70 increases it to $2,480 monthly, a difference of $1,080 every month for potentially decades. For someone living to 90, this decision represents over $300,000 in lifetime benefits difference. The impact of this miscalculation compounds over time. Those who claim early not only receive smaller checks for life, but also receive smaller cost of living. Adjustments, since these are percentage-based, creating an ever-widening gap as inflation erodes purchasing power over a long retirement. Ask yourself, have I realistically assessed my potential longevity based on my health, family history, and demographic factors? Am I planning for the possibility of living into my 90s? Does my claiming strategy protect me if I significantly outlive the average? The key insight here is that Social Security isn't primarily about getting your money back or enjoying benefits. While you can, it's insurance against outliving your resources. The longer you live, the more valuable delayed claiming becomes, transforming Social Security from just another retirement income source into longevity insurance that no private company could offer with such favorable terms. The second aspect of the early claiming mistake involves falling for what financial experts call the break-even fallacy, a mathematical misunderstanding that leads countless retirees to leave money on the table. Carlos, a 66-year-old former sales manager, explained his thinking. "My financial advisor showed me I'd need to live until about 80 to break even if I delayed claiming until 70 instead of taking benefits now. Since no one knows how long they'll live, I figured I should take the money now. Why gamble?" What Carlos didn't realize was that this common break-even analysis fundamentally misframes the decision in a way that favors claiming early. Here's why. This matters. The traditional break-even analysis treats Social Security as an investment decision rather than what it actually is: insurance against outliving your assets. True financial analysis should focus on maximizing expected lifetime benefits given realistic longevity probabilities, not on getting your money back by a certain age. Research published in the Journal of Financial Planning demonstrates that when analyzing Social Security claiming through proper financial planning models, delaying benefits is optimal for the vast majority of Americans. Why? Because the guaranteed 8% annual increase in benefits for each year of delay from full retirement age to 70 represents an unbeatable risk-free return, particularly in today's low-interest environment. The impact of this misconception is substantial. One study estimated that American retirees collectively lose approximately $3.4 trillion in potential Social Security wealth due to suboptimal claiming strategies, with much of this loss stemming from over-reliance on flawed break-even analysis. Ask yourself, has my thinking about Social Security been influenced by simple break-even calculations? Am I viewing my benefits primarily as money to get back, rather than as longevity insurance? Have I analyzed this decision in the context of my overall retirement plan rather than in isolation? The more holistic approach treats Social Security as just one element in your retirement income strategy. For many people, using savings to fund early retirement years while delaying Social Security creates more total lifetime income and greater financial security. This approach means your guaranteed inflation-adjusted income, the Social Security benefit, grows larger exactly when you might be most vulnerable, in your later years when healthcare costs typically increase and other resources may be depleted. As Carlos now acknowledges, "I wish I'd understood I wasn't making an investment decision. I was making an insurance decision." The third critical dimension of the early claiming mistake is overlooking how your decision affects survivor benefits, a consideration that makes the stakes even higher for married couples. Ellen and Robert, married for 43 years, made what seemed like a practical choice. Robert claimed his benefits at 62 to help them afford Ellen's early retirement at 60. When Robert died at 74, Ellen was devastated to learn her survivor benefits would be permanently based on his reduced amount. "No one ever explained that my husband's early claiming decision would affect my income for the rest of my life," Ellen told me. "Now I'm living on 30% less than I would have if he'd waited, and I might live another 20 years. Here's why this matters. When one spouse dies, the survivor receives the higher of either their own benefit or their deceased spouse's benefit, including any delayed retirement credits. This means the higher earner's claiming decision doesn't just affect their own benefit. It establishes the minimum lifetime income for whichever spouse lives longer. The statistics make this consideration particularly important. Women outlive men by an average of 5 years, and in approximately 80% of married couples, the husband has the higher Social Security benefit. This creates a scenario where the higher earner's early claiming decision often reduces his widow's income for many years after his death. The impact can be severe. For a couple where the higher earner would receive $2,800 monthly at full retirement age 67, but claims at 62, the benefit drops to $1,960. If he had delayed until 70, it would have grown to $3,172. This difference of $1,112 monthly becomes the widow's loss after his death, potentially for decades. Ask yourself, if you're married, have you discussed how your claiming decision affects your spouse's potential survivor benefits? If you're the higher earner, are you factoring your spouse's likely greater longevity into your claiming strategy? Have you calculated the actual dollar difference in survivor benefits under different claiming scenarios? Effective planning for married couples often means having the higher earner delay, claiming as long as possible, even if the lower earner claims earlier, to maximize the survivor benefit. This approach creates a form of financial protection for the surviving spouse that no other retirement planning strategy can match in terms of guaranteed, inflation-adjusted lifetime income. As Ellen now advises other couples, think of delaying the higher earner's benefits as buying life insurance that pays out monthly rather than once. It's protection that lasts for the rest of the survivor's life. The fourth dimension of the early claiming mistake involves failing to coordinate Social Security decisions with your other retirement assets, a disconnection that can undermine your entire financial plan. Michael, a 67-year-old former accountant, described his realization. "I claimed at 62 because my 401k seemed insufficient. I thought I was being prudent by preserving my savings. 5 years later, I discovered I'd actually done the opposite. I'd locked in a permanently reduced guaranteed income stream while subjecting more of my retirement to market risk. It was exactly backward from optimal planning." Here's why this matters. Social Security provides unique advantages no other retirement asset can match. It's inflation-adjusted, guaranteed for life, partially tax-advantaged, and backed by the federal government. Proper retirement planning means strategically determining which assets to use first, not simply turning on all income sources simultaneously. Financial planning research consistently shows that for many retirees with moderate savings, the optimal strategy is often to use retirement account withdrawals to delay Social Security claiming. This bridge strategy means spending down some assets earlier to secure the higher guaranteed lifetime income later, effectively buying more annuitized income on extremely favorable terms. The impact of coordination errors can significantly reduce retirement security. Analysis from William Meyer and William Reichenstein, leading researchers in Social Security optimization, suggests that proper claiming strategies coordinated with tax-efficient withdrawal sequencing can extend portfolio longevity by 2 to 10 years. Depending on individual circumstances, ask yourself, have I considered how my Social Security claiming age affects my overall withdrawal strategy? Am I making decisions about each retirement income source in isolation or as part of a coordinated plan? Do I understand the trade-offs between guaranteed income sources, like Social Security, and variable sources, like investment portfolios? The most effective approach typically follows a specific hierarchy. First, determine the optimal Social Security claiming strategy based on longevity expectations and survivor needs. Second, identify the most tax-efficient way to generate income during any gap years before claiming. Finally, develop a sustainable withdrawal strategy for remaining assets that complements your guaranteed income streams. As Michael now tells his friends, Social Security isn't just another income source, it's the foundation of your retirement plan. Everything else should be built around when to claim it, not the other way around. That's where most people get it backwards. The fifth dimension of the early claiming mistake is neglecting to explore specialized claiming strategies that can significantly enhance benefits, options that remain available despite changes to Social Security rules in recent years. Jennifer and Paul, both 64, were planning to claim their benefits simultaneously until they learned about a powerful alternative. We discovered that Paul could file a restricted application for spousal benefits only, while letting his own benefit continue. Growing until 70, Jennifer explained. This strategy is giving us current income while still maximizing his future benefit, which will eventually become my survivor benefit. It's the best of both worlds, but we almost missaid it because no one mentioned this option. Here's why this matters. While the 2015 Bipartisan Budget Act eliminated some claiming strategies, several valuable options remain available, particularly for certain age groups. Those born before January 2, 1954 still have access to restricted applications in specific circumstances. Additionally, survivor benefit strategies, divorced spouse benefits, and child-in-care spousal benefits offer optimization opportunities that many eligible recipients never utilize. Research from the Center for Retirement Research indicates that specialized claiming strategies can increase lifetime benefits by $10,000 to over $100,000 for qualifying households. Yet the complexity of these rules means many eligible beneficiaries never take advantage of them. The impact of overlooking these strategies is essentially leaving entitled benefits unclaimed. For example, a surviving spouse can claim survivor benefits as early as age 60, while allowing their own retirement benefit to grow until 70, a sequencing strategy that maximizes lifetime income but is used by less than 10% of eligible survivors. Ask yourself, do you qualify for any specialized claiming provisions based on your birth year, marital status, or family situation? Have you explored whether a restricted application might benefit you if you were born before 1954? If you're widowed or divorced, have you investigated the specific claiming options available to your situation? Effective planning often requires professional guidance on these complex rules. The most beneficial strategies typically involve careful timing and sequencing of different benefit types rather than simply claiming all benefits at once. Even if you don't qualify for restricted applications, other specialized approaches may apply to your situation. As Jennifer and Paul discovered, these aren't loopholes, they're legitimate benefits we've earned, but they're only valuable if you know they exist and understand exactly how to use them for your specific circumstances. For us, it meant an additional $45,000 in lifetime benefits just by filing in the correct sequence. The sixth dimension of the early claiming mistake involves allowing emotions and misconceptions to override strategic thinking, a very human tendency that can have costly financial consequences. Barbara, a 63-year-old former nurse, admitted her claiming decision was driven by fear. I was convinced Social Security was going broke and needed to get my benefits before they disappeared. I also had this feeling of I paid in, I want it now. 3 years later, I realized those emotions led me to make a decision that will reduce my financial security for the rest of my life. Here's why this matters. Major financial decisions are often influenced more by emotions and misconceptions than by numerical analysis. Research from behavioral economics identifies several cognitive biases that specifically impact Social Security claiming, including present bias, overvaluing immediate rewards, loss aversion, fearing imagined losses more than valuing potential gains, and anecdotal reasoning, giving more weight to stories than statistics. These emotional factors are compounded by persistent myths about Social Security particularly the misconception that the system is on the verge of collapse. While the trust fund faces long-term funding challenges, even if no changes are made, the system would still pay approximately 76% of scheduled benefits after trust fund depletion. The political reality makes it highly unlikely that benefits for those near or in retirement would be significantly reduced. The impact of emotion-driven claiming can be substantial. A study from the Center for Retirement Research found that retirees who made claiming decisions based primarily on emotional factors rather than strategic analysis received an average of 91% of the benefits they could have obtained through optimized claiming, effectively leaving thousands of dollars unclaimed. Ask yourself, am I basing my claiming decision on facts and analysis or on emotions and anecdotes? Have fears about Social Security's future influenced my thinking? Am I claiming early because everyone does it, or because it genuinely aligns with my financial best interest? The most effective approach separates legitimate concerns from emotional reactions and focuses decision-making on objective factors: your health status, family longevity, retirement savings, spousal considerations, and planned retirement lifestyle. For most retirees, this analytical approach leads to later claiming ages than emotion-driven decisions would suggest. As Barbara now reflects, I wish I'd recognized how much my fears were driving my decision. The irony is that by trying to protect myself from an unlikely scenario, I guaranteed a reduction in my financial security that will last for decades. As we've explored these 6 dimensions of the early claiming mistake, underestimating longevity risk, falling for the break-even fallacy, overlooking survivor benefit, impacts, failing to coordinate with other retirement assets, neglecting specialized claiming strategies, and making emotional rather than strategic decisions, a clear picture emerges. The decision about when to claim Social Security represents one of the most significant financial choices most Americans will ever make. Yet it's often made with insufficient information, based on misconceptions, or driven by emotional factors rather than strategic analysis. What makes this particularly concerning is that unlike investment mistakes that can sometimes be corrected, the Social Security claiming decision is largely irreversible. Once benefits begin, you're generally locked into that amount, adjusted for inflation for life. The good news is that if you haven't yet claimed, you have an opportunity to make this decision strategically. Even if you're already receiving benefits and are within your first 12 months of claiming, you may be eligible for a one-time do-over by paying back benefits received, an option worth exploring if your claiming age was significantly earlier than optimal. Remember that there's no single right age for everyone to claim. The optimal strategy depends on your individual circumstances, but for most Americans, particularly those with average or better health, married couples where one spouse earns significantly more, and those with some retirement savings, delaying benefits often creates substantially greater lifetime income and financial security. If you found value in this information, please share this video with friends or family members who are approaching retirement age. This single decision can make a 6-figure difference in lifetime income. In the comments below, I'd love to hear about your own experience with Social Security claiming decisions or any questions you have about your specific situation. Your insights might help others facing similar choices. Don't forget to download our free Social Security Optimization Guide using the link in the description. This practical resource walks you through a step-by-step decision framework and includes worksheets to calculate your optimal claiming age. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for our upcoming video on tax-efficient withdrawal strategies to fund your pre-Social Security years, a perfect companion to the strategy we've discussed today. Thank you for investing time in your financial future. Remember, an informed Social Security claiming decision isn't just about maximizing benefits. It's about creating greater peace of mind throughout your retirement journey.